Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fifth Road Spirit. So, I haven't done one of these in a little while. Probably not since maybe November, December, but I wanted to do a little bit of an astrological update because it just seemed like the new moon threw me for a loop. I don't know how it's been treating you all, but I've been getting a lot of I don't know I've been getting a lot of pushback from places that I never really expect pushback from, and not like I was, though I wasn't like being any different than who I normally am, which is normally a very easygoing person. So when I get pushback and it kind of correlates to how the planets are working, I kind of like, let me delve back into this. So, for those of you who are familiar, I take notes about what's coming up. And because we are working in Aquarius season, I wanted to do kind of a look ahead of what's going on in the skies during the Aquarius season. And that the Aquarius season is from the sun. The sun is moving into Aquarius on January 19th, and it will be there until February 18th. So there's that. Then we also have Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. That starts, let's see, that starts on January 30th and it goes till February 20th. Then we have a full moon in Leo on the 28th. And then Venus will be in Aquarius. It will be, let's see, February 1st through February 25th. And on top of that, then we move forward into a new moon. Oh, is the new moon? The new moon will also be in Aquarius on February 11th. And then we've got the sun moving into Pisces on February 18th. So, I wanted to delve into what I've been just uncovering about Aquarius season because this is always kind of like a blank time for me as far as I don't know if you all journal or keep track of life situations. I highly recommend journaling, especially tracking your dreams, talking about those things, thinking about those things in life occurrences. But for me in my life, this time frame has always been about just kind of going with the flow, really. Um, I don't know if I've ever had anything really big happen in this time frame in my life, but guys, wow. If the new moon is any indication as to what Aquarius season is going to bring, I'm looking for every opportunity, every piece of information I can find about Aquarius in order to understand more and bring myself and others grace, compassion, understanding, but also, and if necessary, reinstating and defining my boundaries from an Aquarius standpoint. Um, so let's dive into it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about, is all those things that I just ran through. So, Aquarius, the sign itself, it is represented by a man emptying a water pot. It's also known as the cupbearer. For some in the skies, this sign was representative of baptism or atonement, right? Wow, atonement. Um, it's an air element in the tarot, which is what this channel focuses on. But again, my journey has been combining the astrology with the tarot. Um, so in the tarot, it's represented, the sign of Aquarius is found in the star card in the major arcana, which to me represents hope, represents, you know, kind of pretty much putting your energy where it's best utilized. The ruler of Aquarius, the planet ruler of Aquarius, is the planet Uranus. And as we know, let's see, believe Uranus went into Taurus. I'll go into that. Um, Aquarian traits: leadership, truthfulness, humane, unbiased. They like to talk about philosophy. They like progressive conversations, progressive ideas, but also they are known for unnecessary radicalism, mental fanaticism, and political extremism. Um, the sign of Aquarius, yes, there's the water pot, but they also rule trains, planes, phones, and oddly enough, the ankle. So, may want to watch our ankles during Aquarius season, keep them strong, keep them supported. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about Mercury retrograde. Oh, well, no. I'm going to talk a little bit about Uranus as the ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus went direct on January 14th in the sign of Taurus. Now, oddly enough, I think that was that was the day after, that was the day after the new moon. So Uranus went direct on January 14th in Taurus. Uranus is a planet that is, it kind of represents this inclination to act without thought. And of course, Uranus, again, rules the ankles and the intuitive intellect. It also rules wireless communication and radioactive elements. Uranus is also known as the Great Awakener. Now, in tarot, Uranus is represented by the Fool card. And that Fool card is the beginning of the journey through the tarot. That's where we kind of start over again. And Uranus being in Taurus, the planet is in its fall or its weakness. So Uranus in Taurus can cause financial ups and downs as well as changes in stability and in stability in relationships as well. Whew, wow. Okay. So let's get into Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. Mercury is represented in tarot by the magician. This is the manifester. But at retrograde, when we flip, like when we think about the magician card being flipped, this is someone who uses their powers in order to put up illusions or to trick people. And when we think of this being in Aquarius, the hope and the fool card kind of going together, we may feel, and this is what I wrote out, we may feel confusion around our values and the direction of our paths. We may learn to rely on our intuition. So stay the course of what we know to be right for us. All right, so let's see. Going to talk a little bit about the full moon in Leo on the 28th. So, if we were smart about the new moon cycle, the cycle that started last week, we'll be rewarded with self compassion and a path to our own internal life, a clearer path. These are the parts of the self willing and strong enough to enter those spaces one by one. There is a lot of deep inner work connected to this full moon, and we discover the courage to accept and change. All right. So then we look at, and of course, the full moon in Leo is on the 28th, but then let's look again back at this Aquarian energy. Venus is going to be moving into Aquarius on February 1st. So we got everything kind of happening in Aquarius. This is going to be, oh my goodness, this is going to be, whew. So Venus in Aquarius. Venus is represented by the Empress in the major arcana in the tarot. Now again, we have that. How does the Empress relate to the Star card and the Fool card? And there's several ways. I saw this going several ways. I listed them out. Several ways that this can go for people. So there are values around birth, fertility, or the earth might change. Our creativity becomes our healing. So we're finding a new creative path. We might dive into our childhood experiences to differentiate our values from our parents or from our families. Something made in darkness comes to life, or something made in the dark is now being introduced in the light. Um, and there might be new connections. New connections are made through associations or partnerships. With the new moon in Aquarius, I decided to just hold back on that and kind of wait for that to be a reading. Yeah, I'm just gonna do the introduction, do the reading. But the fact that we have a new moon in Aquarius, we have Venus in Aquarius, Aquarius season, Sun in Aquarius, like there's a lot of things going on in Aquarius, and then also Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. Lots going on, my friends. So here we also have something else for those who celebrate. There is the season celebration of Imbolc coming up, and that is also known as Candlemas. Now, this information I got out of Juliet Diaz's book called Witchery: Embrace the Witch Within. For those of you who are interested, this is all from her book, but just a little bit talking about Imbolc and Candlemas. This is about purification, coming of spring. It's a celebration of conception, renewal, dedication, planning, and setting intentions and goals. This is when the time that we start doing that. So on February 1st and 2nd in the Northern Hemisphere, this is when we journal and make a list of what you want in the coming year. So again, I know that I say journaling on this channel a lot. Um, and I am I do it myself, but I honestly, probably the only time you've ever seen me do it is either capturing some shots on Instagram or me reading parts of my studies here. But I don't think that I talk enough about it on the channel. So I think I'm going to start doing maybe once a month doing some journaling videos. I don't even know how this is going to happen or how it's going to work, but journaling is so important to understanding what's going on with yourself. Even like I've got my Art of Dreaming book here, because my connection with the spirit world is usually through dreams. I get a lot of messages through dreams. So, dream journaling is probably the easiest thing to start with. Yeah, it's hard to remember to, wake up and write the stuff down. But if not that, at least a sentence a day about something that happened to you, or a thought you may have had, or something someone said to you that may have reminded you of something else that you might have, maybe you just wanted to jot that down. Um, but yeah, there's a lot going on astrologically for Aquarius season, and what I wanted to do was do a little bit of a reading as a whole for the collective for Aquarius season. So let's see. Um, I think I'm going to use my Dream Enchantress cards. See how that goes. I call on my divine masters and teachers. I call on the elements of air, fire, water, and earth. And I call on the fifth element, the element that combines and unites the nature of them all, to come into this reading with a message for the collective for Aquarius season 2021. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, masters and teachers. To my divine masters and teachers, thank you so much. Oops, there we go. Come on. Come on. Ah, there we are. All right, great. All right, Spirit, give 3 cards. Thank you, Spirit. 3 cards for Aquarius season, please. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Wow. Oof. All right, we got 3 cards plus a card on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Actually, these kind of came out together. So I usually put the one on top came first. All right. So we've got the Death card, which is Scorpio. We've also got the Queen of Swords. And then we have the Seven of Cups. On the bottom of the deck, the Three of Wands. All right. So I'm going to put that over here so you all can see. The Death card, of course, yes, this probably scares a lot of people when they get it, but this is really about, I mean, let's delve into the symbolism of death. This is about closing a door to an old life, to the old way of doing things, um, to kind of that, that statement that people say all the time of this is the way we've always done it. That's what I feel is ending here. That statement of this is the way we've always done it. Because quite honestly, it might even be unnecessary right now. And the Death card too, I mean, it's about transformation. It's about moving through the curtains of one world, from one world to the next. That's all that it is. I once had a dream about a family friend of mine who had passed away. I don't know if I've told this story already, but a few days after her funeral, I had a dream about her, and I said, "Wait, like, I asked her, I was like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, "I'm always here." She said, "I'm always here. I never, it's just you can't see me." It's basically she was on another plane of existence. And even though she was still there and still able to connect, there was just the separation of the veil, right? And so this death is basically an escort through the veil, whether or not it's symbolic, like a physical death, but it could also just be, it, whether it is symbolic or physical, but usually it is symbolic of the movement out of the old and into the next, into the new. With this Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords for me has always been this shaman card, this card of someone who is bringing forth, um, bringing forth truth as a remedy, right? Here, the queen is perched on her castle. She's looking over her realm. She's got her sword by her side, and it looks like she's ready to use it when necessary, but she's very focused on taking care of those things around her, taking care of her subjects, taking care of her realm. And she's doing it with truth and honesty. And that is probably what is coming forth for this Aquarius season is, of course, Aquarius is an air sign. This season is going to bring us some radical truth, and radical truth requires radical acceptance, right? Otherwise, we might find ourselves in an energy of resistance. And when we find ourselves in resistance, we cannot change the thing that is already happening and continuing to happen. The only thing we can do when we find ourselves in resistance is to understand and find a way to radically accept, radical acceptance. And a lot of people have a hard time with radical acceptance. Some people will interpret it as, as dismissal, right? um, really what it is let's get beyond the blockages. Let's get beyond the things that are keeping us separated from each other. And it's continuing this idea of let's get beyond the veil, right? Let's get out of this old and into the new. Now, every time I see this card, I'm reminded of a David White poem that talks about, no one told me that when the blade cut, it cut the paper so well that it melded it back together. So this truth is not coming without a remedy to it. It's not coming to separate. It is actually coming to bring radical unification, radical. Um, it's bringing us together closely. Truth will never do anything but create closeness, right? And so that's what this Queen of Swords is bringing. This is also a very mature energy. Of course, the King of Swords is also mature, but this is a very feminine aspect of it. Now, last but not least, we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is about the dream state. It's about, we're thinking about we're dreaming about what the future could be like. We're dreaming about a world for ourselves, but sometimes the Seven of Cups can leave us almost with too many choices. And so we end up, we have to pick. Um, it's almost as, I don't like to kind of do the connotation of with Christianity, but this is almost kind of a, picking the Holy Grail, you know, picking the one cup that works, right? The one cup that works for everyone, and deciding that's the cup we are going to drink out of, right? So that's what the Seven of Cups is about. It's about, yes, we've got all these possibilities up in the air. We've got all these dreams and ideas. But now, which one is it that we're going to pull down when we wake up from the dream? All right. Now at the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Wands. Now, and this kind of solidifies that we're building something, that we're working together in order to build something that works, right? In order to build a system, in order to build um, a portal. Like we're turning that veil, right? That veil in the death cycle, or in the death card, excuse me. We're turning it into a kind of a portal, a pass through, and we're building on that. We're taking that cup, right? We're taking all that we've learned in Aquarius season, and we're running with it. We are running with it. We are building. We are starting a foundation. Um, Starting a foundation there. So let's see if I have maybe some guidance for Aquarius season. Uh, Cards. Let's see. I want to see what the mystical shaman cards might tell us. Spirit, I ask that you come into this reading with a message for the collective, some guidance for this reading for the collective for Aquarius season. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Can give us a card of guidance for Aquarius season. Thank you, Spirit. Yes. Okay, we've got the Sacrifice in reverse. Okay. This is the number 44 card. Let's see what the sacrifice, the medicine for the card. The medicine for this card. All right, so the essence of the card: to sacrifice means to make sacred. The sacrifice is an offering of gratitude made from the heart, a feast of love prepared for spirit. In old days, sacrifices sometimes involved rituals in which blood was offered to the gods. For example, in the Bible, Yahweh preferred Abel's sacrifice of one of his lambs to Cain's offering of vegetables and fruits. In Middle America, however, Quetzalcoatl, Quetzalcoatl, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, the Lord of the Dawn, came to teach that spirit preferred our songs and our prayers to the blood of humans or animals. The medicine. What is the one person or thing that you feel you cannot live without? It is time to offer it all to spirit so that it may unfold as it will. Do not cling to the old form or allow your sacrifice to weigh heavily upon you. You have sacrificed yourself and your dreams for too long. Now is the time to rededicate yourself to your journey. When you make sacred, you open the doors to infinite wealth. Do not delay. Yeah, yep, this is what Aquarius season is bringing. It's bringing that the need for a sacrifice, the need to focus on your dreams and pick what works for you. Not pick what works for you, but pick what is yours and start bringing it into consciousness, into life. All right. So that is your astrological view of Aquarius season and a reading for Aquarius season. I hope this has been a benefit to you. And yeah, I hope to start doing some journaling videos soon, as soon as I figure out a process for that. Maybe it'll be a class. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.